Hello, welcome back to Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching. This is Erin. I went last night and I saw a medium for the first time. My mentor, Franny Hoffman, she's also a medium, but we've never really done that kind of work together. We've done like spiritual life coaching, which is awesome. But last night there was this gal, her name was Kelly. And she comes to the St. Pete area, and one of my clients, Tabitha, hi Tabby, said that she's the real deal. So I went with a bunch of my girl gang, and after like an hour, she kind of goes around the room. It takes like 2.5 or 3 hours. I didn't get called. I was like, okay, and I kind of made peace with that, and was doing like a little meditation and just breathing. And suddenly she said Deborah, which was my mother's name, and so I got a lot of really sweet messages channeled to me, and it was all about like how proud of me she was, and encouraging for me to meditate twice a day again, and before I go to sleep, which I just have such resistance to, but I did it last night in her honor because one of the things the medium said was, and you could start tonight. So my mom said that she likes it when I wear clothes. So in this podcast, I'm wearing her red jacket that has little clips, and it's very big on me, but it's like my mom's giving me a hug. So yeah, it was a sweet night. I went with Anik and Melissa, two of my Ultra Babe girl gang, and we support each other. Anik had a message come through from her family, and Melissa was supporting us and, the space that we were in. So it was really cool. Today, I wanted to talk about on the podcast forgetting to use the tools. So I think it's a great podcast to do because from my perspective, and I'm a person that develops and teaches a lot of these tools, I forget too. And there's a part of me that wants to say, well, Erin, like teaching these tools and like you forget to use them sometimes. Like what kind of example is that? But it's only there for just a second because I've been on this path long enough to know that we get concealed in our humanness, and what we do most of the time is going to be what matters, sort of like the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time I'm using tools. I think that's a pretty good ratio. If I'm honest, it might be 75-25 sometimes. But when I'm doing my practices, I use it actually maybe 85-15. So it's somewhere in that ratio. But sometimes when your nervous system is jazzed and, you go into a fight or flight, or if you've had a series of events happen that really jostle your sense of reality, sometimes you might lose the tools and you might forget they exist. Or if you are not in a regular routine and have, say, a spiritual discipline practice, which we say sadhana in Sanskrit, if we don't have that sort of built up in our resolve, in our nervous system, and we have our good reasons for doing those things, if that is like not firmly grounded, it's like the Yoga Sutra 1.14, Satu Dhyarga Kala Nairantarya Satkara Sevito Dridhabhumihi. When we are grounded in that space of truth and we continuously show up with an honest effort, we will sort of pave the path more. We won't be pulled into the distortions quite as much, and we'll have like a firm ground to be able to stand on spiritually. So, last night with my mom, there's definitely been mediums where I was like, is this real? Like, she's kind of saying a broad topic, but there was quite a few specifics that she said enough to make me think that, yes, this was real. But my mother talked about my spiritual evolution, and when I'm consistent with things like that, she can actually come through, especially my meditation. So, whether you believe in like afterlife stuff or not, certainly it might be seen as a little arrogant or egotistical if we think that only this realm exists and only this is our only experience, like in the broadness and vastness and magnitude of the world. So if you do believe that, I just invite a tiny wedge of doubt, just a mustard seed. That being said, this whole like guides and afterlife stuff is newer for me, but one of the messages that came through is like, when you're consistent, like you can hear me more. When you're consistent, like you are connected to spirit more, which is like, that's what all the spiritual texts say. So it's like my mom saying this. I was like, oh, thank you, Mom. But sometimes you forget, right? The thing is like, if you have those personal parameters set up for yourself, like if you find the good reasons why you need to show up and do inner work that you can pull from in those moments when you don't have momentum, you have a ton of resistance, and maybe life is tumultuous. You have just a lot of obstacles that are seemingly external, though our attitude that we choose to have towards them certainly makes a difference. But sometimes it's like, I don't have a car right now. It got smashed. Like that definitely has an impact on my life. It's not imaginary, but it's also helping me to ask for help more. I am getting a new car this week, but it made me step back and realize, how often I do kind of buzz around town, and maybe I don't need to do that. Maybe I spend more time at home. Maybe I slow down. So there's lessons in everything, right? So, Matt and I won't go into it because this is his personal business as well as mine. But, we went through a thing where we forgot to use our tools, and, we kind of went back and forth. And the cool thing is that we're committed enough to each other and love each other enough to where we stood in the fire long enough, and then we, came back to our tools, and, we were able to explain the reason why we wanted to use each tool and the objective, and, making sure it's not to manipulate or not to, get one up on someone, right? But it was from a place of wanting to connect, and it's like finding the ways to connect that is possible for each of us, because certain tools work better for others, and certain tools will work better for you. And being aware of which tools are appropriate during which time, I think, is a level of viveka, discernment, and vitarka, reasoning, that comes from studying and knowing yourself. Because if you don't know what your needs are, and you don't know, which methodology you respond to because you haven't practiced it, then it's kind of hard to evolve and grow with someone, because there's just too much set up to where your mind's going to get stuck in a loop. So if you're not doing regular emotional, mental, spiritual hygiene, maybe even like astral, after again that gal last night being a medium, and I believe what she did was real. There was too many details, too many names she threw out that like how do you know this? So but even for someone like her, like astral hygiene, because she's channeling stuff, so having your sadhana set up to where at least 80% of the time you are honoring that, and recognizing that your life is a series of ceremonies, if you choose it to be. It's a series of events encapsulated in time, like a mala necklace, like the beads. So it's like, if you can be present for the bead as well as the string, as the bead as the string, is the expansion as the contraction, as the revealment and concealment, then, that requires a high level of presence and commitment to your life and being present in it, which is not easy. There's so much written about it that goes into great detail about why that's important, and, the benefit of showing up over and over again, even when you don't want to. It's like finding that way, digging deep. And if you choose to be in a conscious partnership, it's there can be things that trigger you. That is a sign to work on something to improve your communication, to soften. And, that has been, I tell people this that ask about my relationship, and, what the hell do I know? We've been together not even 6 years, but it's been the most satisfying, deepest, most connected relationship I've ever been in, to where I have loved myself. I don't have to stay in it. I choose to stay in it because I can see the value, and I can, I love Matt very much. So, it's, a conscious choice. It's not out of fear. It's not out of, what would I do without, and isn't that a beautiful thing? We have interdependence, but I don't I think it can become toxic if you like need this person, like all of your needs are met by just one person in one way and you're not meeting them yourself. That can certainly make it difficult to use tools, because then you might misuse tools, because if you're that sticky with the other person, there's enmeshment, then you're going to like naturally fall into like manipulation of some sort, because you want to get your need met. So rather, if you are empowered in your own skin and you have your own tools, and then, you know, you lean on another person with consent sometimes and talk about it, and, you know, sometimes have like kind of an understanding in extreme situations, then that's awesome. I think those are the grounds for a healthy relationship. So that's my podcast for today. I hope that you enjoy. Very casual in mom's coat. But I think that for a lot of you, that's why you like this podcast, is because it's not scripted. It's like directly channeled from my heart. I usually come up with a topic and like have some fun examples for you. So I hope that you enjoy. You've been here a while for a lot of you. I want to let you know that I am doing a free masterclass. It's actually it's out. You can sign up for it now. We're giving it away for free until the end of the year. This took 2 months to do. It has great production value. It really explains my most important tool, which is the clear formula. It breaks it down. It shows the pitfalls. It shows the applications. There's so much that you can do with this formula, and it helps you to coach yourself. So if you're like, I've been listening to this for a while, I can't afford coaching, you know, but I really want to make a change in my life, and I've seen Erin grow, and I've seen the people that she worked with and that she's around grow. Awesome, cool. Like, I want you to see the evidence, not just like blind faith, right? I have this tool for you. Let's see how to find it. So you can go to our Instagram, and you will see a jot form where you can sign up for it. You can also email me, Erin@erincoach.com, and if I have your email, I can send it to you. So yeah, it's a whole masterclass. It has like 6 videos, like great production, great sound, great visuals. So we worked really hard on it, made all the mistakes possible, and then corrected them. And so this is the final product. So I hope that you enjoy. You know, if you're interested in learning from me personally, I do my intensives. I'm just doing once a year because it is very important for me to focus when I am doing trainings, and we're going to India this year in June, which still have some spots for that. If you're local, we're doing a 200-hour and 300-hour yoga teacher training. If you want a teacher that will actually see you, that will call you on any bullshit stories you're telling yourself compassionately, sweetly, and show you how to be a rock star of a yoga teacher, as well as, you know, a spiritual guru. I walk the walk. I do the things. I don't just have one method. I have like 40. So come and learn my techniques. So that is happening starting in February. So most of this stuff is on thriveyogafit.com. You can email me, Erin@erincoach.com, if you want to reach out. Even if you just want to say, hey girl, hey, that's cool too. And next Coach School is in September 2024. You can do payments to make it very, very easy. So by the time Coach School comes, you're done with payments, and then you can just enjoy. So, all right, I think that's it. Thank you so much. Namaste. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to support the podcast, and if it's helping you, please consider writing a review. You can go to iTunes or Google Play, go into the search bar, and type in Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching, scroll down, and you can leave a review. This helps other people to find me, as well as bumps us up in the search ratings. Also, this podcast is sponsor-free, so that means we don't receive anything for doing it. If you feel so inclined and this podcast is helping to support you, and you want to return the favor and help to support any production costs of the podcast, feel free to give a donation to a Venmo link, Thrive Yoga Fit, or PayPal, Erin@erincoach.com. If you don't have the means, don't worry about it. We're not going anywhere. You're all good. But if you would like to give back, you can give back in those ways. Thank you so much. Namaste.